Coming to you live from the Chamber of Haunters Studios, this is Haunting You. I'm your host, Keoni Hutton.
And I'm Leslie Reed.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Haunting You podcast. I am so excited to be... Wow, that didn't take long at all, did it? I am so excited to be podcasting again. It has been freaking 3 months since we have gotten to get together and do a podcast. And honestly, I was going through a bit of withdrawal because I have not been able to podcast. But that's okay. I survived. The ship is back in port, and we are finally able to start talking Halloween again. And of course, I missed Fear Expo by a freaking week. A week. It was last weekend.
Yeah, it was awesome, and you were very much missed by everybody.
That honestly, that's very touching. I truly am touched.
Everybody
that people
who came
were
up,
asking about me.
It was like, "Where's Keoni? Where's the other guy? Wait, you weren't here last year." Like, constantly.
That it warms my heart that people
you were very
asking
missed.
about me. That's beautiful. To
Tayan
everyone
was
who came
asking
out
about you, like everybody.
To everyone who came out to the booth, thank you for coming out to the booth. Thank you for hanging out with Leslie, keeping her company since I couldn't. And the warm welcome that this industry has given us just freaking warms my cold dead heart. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it really was so much fun.
Yeah. So
and I didn't even get to do half of the things that I wanted to
do. Always. Every freaking time. But that's what we want to talk about today. We want to do a recap episode to talk about all of the awesome things that Leslie did at Fear Expo, because I couldn't be there. So I want to live vicariously through her. And hopefully, if you weren't able to be there, you can also live vicariously through our discussion here tonight.
Yes, because living vicariously through me is not dangerous and hazardous at all. Nope, not at all.
Speaking of hazardous things, we warned all the listeners, if they were to come and visit you, to remember that you were stabby. Did that become a problem at any time during the show? Did you need to become stabby?
No. The only time I needed to become stabby was at the hotel during costume ball, because we had people who decided that they were going to party without closing their doors.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, so we got that handled without stabbing, though.
Well, that's good. I'm glad your weekend was stabbing free, and thank you thank you listeners for not antagonizing Leslie to the point of stabbing. Greatly appreciate.
I did find a baseball bat that I really wanted to get.
No.
It was so nicely balanced.
No. Maybe.
Like it.
We will talk about that. Let's talk about. But let's back up first. Talk first about like the logistics of getting there. How was like the flights? What was your strategy to get there? Where did you stay? All of the logistical things before we dive into the show.
Yeah. So in terms of logisticals, there's definitely it is a little bit out of the way. It's in Owensboro, and while they do have an airport, you have to take a couple of puddle hoppers to get there. And pricing of flights and that type of thing definitely goes up when you do that. Coming from Denver, we did have a couple of direct flights, so we took advantage of those, because otherwise the layovers were just ridiculous. So we flew to Louisville.
You lose so much of your day if you're sitting in airports.
Yeah. It was one of those of, we might have saved a couple of bucks, but we would have lost. I mean, we literally would have almost had to travel on Wednesday to be able to make use of anything else. So we flew into Louisville, picked up a rental, and drove to Owensboro. What we did not realize, Louisville is in Eastern time. Owensboro is in Central time.
So what I'm hearing is you gained an extra hour. You gained an extra hour flying in.
We didn't know what time it was at all.
like ever.
For the entire weekend.
The whole
the whole weekend. It was like things will shut down when people tell us to shut it down and to open it, and my watch hasn't updated yet, so it's on Mountain Time, or maybe it was on. Clocks were terrible and useless. But in terms of actually getting there, pretty straightforward. Very, very nice drive.
How
We did
long
the
was the drive?
Indiana,
The Louisville Owensboro drive.
it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
And it's all highway, but nothing. Once you get out of Louisville, nothing in the city.
Yeah.
You do get to drive by a very nice nuclear power plant.
How appropriate. Can't talk too much
Yeah.
about that right now, but that is working as inspiration for another project that we're currently working on. Tune in a couple months. More details to follow. But all of that aside,
So
what do you think of Owensboro?
I see what they're trying to do with the town,
Uh-huh.
and I hope it works. I hope that they're successful.
Okay,
Because
you got to elaborate.
So Owensboro is very, very clearly like you drive in anywhere on the outer rim, you're driving through industrial, old school farmhouses that have kind of built up into a city center. But really, when you get in, and the closer you get to the river, they are trying to revitalize the town and turn it from a strictly industrial and transport stop on the Ohio into a much more convention friendly, arts friendly, modernized, and welcoming place for more people to say, hey, Denver's freaking expensive. Here's this nice town where I can get a house that's twice the size of mine for a third of the cost.
Yeah.
we actually did look at a couple housing, see what was on Redfin just to get pricing. Like, how much would it cost to actually buy a house here?
A lot less than Denver is the answer.
Oh my goodness. When I'm seeing 5-bedroom, 4-bath, 3,000 plus square foot houses with land for like less than 300,000.
Yeah, compare that to we stopped in at there's an open house in our neighborhood just a couple doors down from us. So of course we stopped in just to see. It's 3-bed, 3-bath, 1,300 square feet on an eighth of an acre. Take a stab. Oof. Take a stab on the price.
It's you're
in Fremont, California.
Mm-hmm. You've got to be over $1 million.
1.5 for 1,300 square feet. I can't do it. I couldn't justify it.
No,
I don't see the value. I do not see the value. Clearly somebody does, because that's what these freaking houses are going for. But holy I don't see it.
Yeah. So either way, Owensboro, very, very nice town. I love what they're trying to do, especially with the riverfront. They've got some lovely, running paths, and they're building up some great restaurants and really a great city center.
Oh my gosh, that river walk. I
applaud.
Tell me you walked the river walk.
Gorgeous.
Absolutely freaking gorgeous.
The when we would have, it was downpouring rain.
That does happen.
Downpouring rain.
Yeah.
No, I there's definitely a lot of stuff that we didn't get to do and didn't get to explore. Like we pretty much lived either in the hotel or the convention center. Mm-hmm. And pretty much all the convention center time was on the convention floor. So I did not get to any classes, which I'm bummed about.
Oh man,
yeah,
it happens to me every time. I have so much fun on the show floor that I completely forget anything else is happening.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So lovely town. I love what they're doing with it. Definitely can see, why they're wanting and trying to attract all of these, conventions and organizations to come and support the town.
Yeah.
Absolutely applaud them for the work that they're doing and the efforts that they're putting in. It's a lovely town.
It's a lovely town. It's a super lovely town. Tell me about the load in and setup, everything that you were doing. First, what day did you fly in? So like stuff was started.
So we flew. Stuff started. They actually had things starting on Wednesday.
Yeah,
so you could start doing load in and setup on Wednesday.
Mostly Thursday for vendors who are moving giant pallets of large animatronics, stuff like that. Stuff that takes a while to set up. Our little table, you don't really need that.
Yeah, I have a story about that for later.
Yeah,
but so we flew in on Thursday. We got into the town about 3-4 o'clock. Again, I have no idea what time it actually was because of time changes.
Fair.
We got in late afternoon, kind of just chilled. Long flight. We got up way earlier than either one of us are used to. And then decided, okay, let's just go over and set up the booth. The other thing that was happening Thursday, that started in the early morning was haunt tours. Now, that is the one thing about Owensboro that isn't ideal for our type of convention. There's no local haunts. You have to drive very far.
That sounds like a opportunity to me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. For people who are like, ooh, I can do this. But until that happens, the haunt tours, you spend a lot of time in a bus.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you start very, very early in the morning and you got back very, very late at night. I know there were some hiccups with some food and some other things related to it, but it sounds like it was pretty much resolved. Yeah. And so again, this is the second year.
Sure. Like the things I was hearing just watching on Facebook, it sounds like they ran like 3 buses for the Ultimate Haunt Tour. There were 6 haunts that they were going to, and vast majority went very smoothly. As the night went on, they like ran out of food, didn't have enough for the number of people who had showed up, those kind of issues. And it happens. Like it happens.
Yeah. And that happened a couple of times over the course. Yeah. And Doug was taking notes all over the place. And that did happen at other points during the convention.
Really?
Yeah. It was Friday night. They ran out of food. Now, part of that was everybody was served themselves at the buffet and was not thinking of everybody else. So one of the big things that they did was no more unsupervised haunters being allowed to serve themselves.
Smart. So, because I can put down some buffet, let me tell you.
Yeah. The rolls were delicious.
Yeah.
So yes, I mean, again, this is the second year of the haunt. They expanded it quite a bit and got a lot more people coming than I think they initially expected and planned for, especially in terms of the people who are willing to pay and I wanted to do the VIP. I definitely saw many more VIPs walking around during the entire weekend than I saw of general admission.
Interesting. That honestly doesn't surprise me very much. I think if I remember our conversation with Doug correctly, the VIP ticket was like $65, general admission was $25, and the VIP gives you full access to freaking everything. Like you're not paying for classes. You're not
a lot of so many things that the VIP gave you that it was one of those cases of why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So
that's
definitely
for $40
saw a lot of I mean, and that included food, that included snacks, that included, a place to relax.
All of the after hours activities, all the
after hours, all the classes, just absolutely everything. You might as well have just been a vendor to come in as a VIP.
Yeah. You're basically getting all the same benefits and you don't have to worry about setting up a table.
Yeah. Luckily, our table was very, very small because we didn't realize that there were important things in some of the packages. Because I pulled
Leslie.
pulled it out and was like, okay, it's open it. Oh, it just looks like a screen. I'm like, okay, this is what you must have used to, be a screen on the.
Yeah, about that. So the box. So last year when I went, we had a 20 by 10 20 foot by 10 foot booth because there were a couple of extra booths and Doug wanted to bless us and gave us the extra spot, which was awesome. It let me put up a giant 15-foot screen that I projected onto and had all our videos running onto that. Right. Well, this year there were so many more vendors. There were no extra booths. He couldn't give us that extra space. And so could not send that screen, but that screen goes in a box that is like 4 feet long, 2 feet wide, a foot deep. Like there was no way I was shipping that to you.
I appreciate that because I don't think we could have taken it anyway.
Yeah, seriously. That's the kind of thing that I just load in the back of the truck when I'm driving. Like that, it's not shipping otherwise.
Yeah. So our booth, I mean, it took us half an hour to set up, really.
Yeah.
And, we did that Thursday night.
We're not offering we're not offering anything to people besides t-shirts, stickers, pamphlets, like
candy.
Candy was a good call. I love having candy because it keeps people coming back.
Yes, and keeps me entertained.
That as well.
I have snacks and
Sugar Rush.
Oh yeah, very important.
Yeah. So it sounds like you got pretty much loaded in, set up on Thursday evening.
And on Thursday evening, Friday we went and we did their opening remarks. and then we went and ran our errands to get more of our brochures printed out, and just to get some supplies for the booth. Did that, came back, just kind of hung out on the floor until it officially opened.
Yeah, so
And
Friday
then,
was the VIP networking day. So they had, for all the VIPs, they had classes going on. They had all of these crazy, I say crazy, all of these, I don't know, thorough, maybe amazing networking opportunities for all the vendors, or excuse me, for all the VIPs who were there on Friday. So that they were doing all of that, and then got like a personal, not personal, but not open to the general public yet. Like it was only open to the VIPs. They got to go on the show floor before anybody else.
Yeah, which was great because everybody could kind of walk around and see what was there, which, you know, there was really a lot of just meandering and sightseeing for everybody. So it's kind of a nice way to ease into it. And then Saturday, everything really picked up because people are like, okay, I know what I want to look at more. I know I want to see more of. I know who I want to talk to. They've already have their plan of attack, as well as kind of nice to get there early and just settle in.
Yeah.
You don't feel nearly as rushed. So Friday evening was
speed networking.
Speed networking.
My favorite event. First, describe the speed networking event. How did it, like, what was the method of this event, Les?
Chaos. We had far more people, vendors and buyers, show up to attend than were expected. So
I'm sensing a trend so far in what you're talking about.
This has definitely been a case of the hazards of success. And, you know, hazards of doing a good show last year and the growth this year. So we had way more people. We didn't quite have an even split between vendors and buyers, but after kind of a handful of attempts to figure out what was going to be the best way to organize everybody, finally settled on having the vendors sit at a table, and we ended up doing 2 vendors to a table for the most part, and then having the buyers round robin. I was table 10.
You can't tell listeners, but she's doing math with her fingers and trying to count tables from her memory. It's very amusing to watch. We had
probably almost 30 tables.
Holy!
I want to say 25 to 30 tables.
Yeah.
And again, 2 vendors for most tables.
And
then buyers walked around. We did end up with a couple of breaks. So I got like 2 breaks where I didn't have a buyer.
Yeah.
Which was kind of nice because
need a second to catch up. Yeah.
These were, you had a 30-second window.
It was just 30 seconds to pitch?
Yeah, it was 30 seconds to pitch.
Oh, man.
I got a minute to pitch because I was a single table.
Yeah, you were there by yourself.
So I was also at a small table. They couldn't fit a second set of vendors.
Benefits.
Oh yeah. So I was literally doing this pitch in 30 seconds and being like, wait, okay, no, I have another 30 seconds. But a lot of vendors only had 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So everybody was, you know, trying to rapidly adjust their pitch to accommodate such a short time.
And what, like, did you find it useful? Was it a beneficial event?
I think so. 30 seconds is not enough for an elevator pitch.
Yeah.
But with how many groups we had, trying to get everybody through, we started late because Doug was trying to figure out how to organize this massive room of people.
Yep.
I would say that again, successful for what it was. I know changes will be made next year to make it more effective.
Sure.
I have absolutely zero doubts that you know, Doug is going to take everything he learned from last weekend and, you know, adjust to, you know, what this convention is growing to be.
Yeah. It sounds like it.
But overall, still very, very effective and useful. Got a lot of business cards, talked to a lot of people, handed out a lot of our business cards. We're out of business cards. We need to order more.
Oh, awesome. That's fantastic.
Yeah. We still have the old business cards, but we're basically out of all the new business cards.
The ones that have the QR code?
Yeah.
Cool.
So we need
I'll order another box.
So I handed out a ton of those, handed out a bunch of flyers, really just great way to talk to people and, introduce myself, get where's Keoni? and then
you have to wait, and then you have to waste 10 seconds of your 30 seconds explaining where Keoni is.
Yeah, I mostly just said he's floating on a boat.
Yes, accurate.
I mean, fastest way to get
that
there.
summed it up nicely.
He's floating on a boat. We hope it's not sinking.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to tell the stories, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. So that was the speed networking event. That was also the massive storm coming in to town. And it was windy and pouring.
Oh man.
Like,
I guess
we had flood watches and warnings all up and down.
That's the risk. Like, we were there in January last year and it was freezing cold, snowy, not actively snowing, but snowy, and couldn't really enjoy Owensboro, like the outside of Owensboro, because it was so freaking cold. March, we were hoping for warmer weather, and it sounds like March was coming in like a lion, or going out like a lion.
Yeah, the weather, this was a perfect time. The weather was fantastic. I, of course, love rainstorms. The weirdest thing about the storm, there was a ton of lightning. I did not hear one bit of thunder.
Fascinating. Heat lightning.
Super weird.
Yeah.
Super
you don't see.
weird.
You do not see that out west, like where we grew up in Colorado. If you see lightning, it's because there's thunder right behind it. Like, you don't get heat lightning. You do not get heat lightning because the air is so dry. But out east, it's super weird to see that everywhere. Like,
I keep seeing all these flashes. I'm like, where's the thunder? I want to see how far away it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, everything's flat. Where are my mountains? I don't know which way's north, west, south, or east.
Oh yeah, that every time I move, I have to reorient. It kills me.
I have no geographical orientation.
So that was your Friday.
That was Friday.
And it sounds like Saturday and Sunday you were pretty much on the show floor. So let's just jump into the floor. Talk about some of the vendors you met. Like, I saw a ton of YouTube videos getting posted. Who did you meet? What did you see? Tell us, Les.
So I did not take video of everybody we saw and everybody we talked to.
Boo, slacker. Sorry.
Yes. Well, you weren't here. I had limited capabilities. And I wanted to have us be at the booth too, so that way people could come by.
When I was doing it, I literally would just put up a sign at the booth. I'm out on the show floor. Come find me.
Yes, we had that too. We had that too, and we did use it.
Excellent.
It's also the case that Alan stayed at the booth and I was out trying to record, but it was a lot easier to have him come out than me trying to sit there and be like, "Oh, look, phone. No, where's my phone?" And here. I'm attached to the microphone. Here, use the phone.
I got reasonably good, not great, but reasonably good at recording myself talking, and then I could turn it to focus on the products that they're talking about. But it's really freaking hard to showcase these vendors when you're filming yourself as you're hosting yourself. Like, if I had had a cameraman, holy shit, it would have been better.
Yes, Alan did a wonderful job.
You at least had a cameraman some of the time.
I did. Actually, most of the time, because once I realized, this is terrible. I can't even take a decent selfie. There's no way in hell I could do this.
But oh my God, Leslie sent me a picture from our YouTube page that it was just a screenshot of our YouTube page showing one of my, a clip from one of my vendor spotlights from last year, and her doing the vendor spotlight from this year. And the picture that YouTube chose has us looking almost freaking identical. Same facial expression, facing the same way.
So funny.
I'll post it up to Facebook because it's absolutely fucking ridiculous. We are not related. She's my sister. Like, I consider her a sister, but we are not like actually physically related. But from that picture, we might be related. Like,
did you send that to your parents?
No, but I should. That'd be hilarious. Yeah, they will
send that to
appreciate
Jeannie. You should send that to Jeannie and Chemo.
Anyway,
are you sure I don't actually have a sister?
Yeah, exactly. So tell us about some of the vendors. That.
I was like, okay, so again, it's just absolutely spectacular. We had so much fun. We were right across from TFFX, Masks and Props, and they are the lovely originators of the corncob hammer.
Yes, TFFX
and the peanut hammer
was just down the aisle from us last year as well, just a couple booths away. They had I freaking love their hammers. I'm amazed you did not come home with one of their hammers for your Harley costume.
I didn't have room in my luggage.
That carry on. I'm sure TSA will let that through security.
Yeah, I had enough issues taking our banner as a carry-on. I set it down and left it like 3 times in the airport.
You have any idea what that banner cost me? Pieces of my soul.
I know. That's why I ran back every time. I realized, wait, I'm supposed to have something in my hand. Where is it? I ran back to TSA on one of them.
Oh, Leslie, don't tell me these things.
On another one. I mean, if it was shaped like a hammer, I probably wouldn't have forgotten it.
Well, next time I'll add a head to it, so it is a hammer. But yeah, keep talking about TFFX. I freaking love their line of, I'm going to say, creative and unusual weapons.
Yeah, they have some great weapons. Beautifully done, foam, but very, very sturdy, very, very stable. Watching them hit their hammers on that, just drop it on the ground it's just fantastic.
So that sums up TFFX masks pretty well. And if you want to learn more about them, go check them out at TFFX masks on Facebook. Okay, Les, before we jump into the rest, let's take a quick break to hear from our sponsors, and then you can keep telling us about all the cool stuff you saw out on the show floor. But who else did you meet down there on the show floor?
Next up, I had to stop in and officially meet Tayan from Project Backfire.
Oh my gosh. Now, for those who don't remember, Tayan was, we met her first, I met her last year at Fear Expo, and it was the first time she had been vending. She was 16 at the time. She was using Project Backfire as her senior design project to graduate her homeschool. Is graduate the right word for homeschoolers? I don't know. But anyway, That was her senior design project. And Fear Expo gave her the opportunity to showcase her wares. And that allowed her business to freaking explode. That last year she became the youngest vendor to vend, That makes sense, right? But she became the youngest vendor ever to have a booth at Transworld, which was so freaking cool.
That's again, Transworld is hard enough to get into when you've been in the industry, but to have it be your very, very second show is just ridiculous. And her stuff, Tan's stuff, is totally awesome.
I freaking love the Richard that we bought. So the Richard is, it's an air horn attached to a battery powered drill, and you push the button, bang, it's fantastic. But she freaking customizes each one. And we wanted to give ours to our porcelain doll character. And so I sent her a picture of our porcelain doll, and she freaking customized the Richard with a porcelain doll face that looks so much like our character. Oh my God, I freaking love it.
It's fantastic.
What did they have this year that was new?
A whole bunch. So she has expanded her offerings. because naturally.
Naturally.
But now she has essentially a line for regular storefront. So
Oh, interesting.
earrings, little tiny, basically something that you're going to find if you walk into like Hot Topic or any other, home crafts type of store. But again, all still in line with, what she does with Project Backfire. So, she had these great Wednesday earrings that I loved. She's building up a line of not so creepy stuffies.
Oh, interesting.
In addition to her creepy stuffies.
Uh-huh.
And I spot like a bunch of all of the above. But again, no luggage space. Terrible plan. She had a raven popping out of a trash can.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was great. Another thing she's got building up is a bunch of tattoo needles.
Yes.
So she's got them and they buzz. So you can get that
and I remember last year,
feel.
Not just tattoo guns, but she had dentist drills as well with that wee sound that like just go right on the back of my neck. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Gah.
Yeah. So she had a whole bunch of great stuff. Video on her YouTube of what she's got. And again, she's just delightful.
She is absolutely delightful.
Everything that she does is so genuine, and you can tell just how much she loves this.
Yeah.
And loves having opportunity. And she's also become, one of the big people involved in Fear Expo. So not only is her business taking off, but her industry connections are just growing with leaps and bounds.
Yeah. That's awesome. I am so excited to see everything else that she comes up with. Like, getting to know her over the last year has been wonderful. And if you want to check out their products, go check out projectbackfire.net.
Yeah. It's great stuff. Her line of creepy stuffies is just delightful.
Speaking of creepy stuffies, did you get over to Monsters Alive?
Yes, I did.
Tell us what you saw.
They had so much great stuff. They really did. They actually had the notebook that I bought with the dragon's eye on front.
Oh yeah.
So that was one of the first things I was like, ooh,
I need this.
But the other thing, they had some awesome shrunken heads.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, I freaking need those for this year too. If we're doing the voodoo theme of the ghost house.
Yeah, they've got some great shrunken heads. So the other thing, what they have is fantastic. They have a whole bunch of corpseified creatures and masks. I didn't really see any of their creepy stuffies, but they definitely had just some awesome pieces. They're 3 demons.
Is that a mask
statue?
Or like a
No, it's a prop that's tied with it has fog machine, it's 3 goat head skeletons. They're reading from a satanic book.
Oh my god, that sounds freaking awesome.
Oh, it's delightful. You can watch the prop on our YouTube page. But yeah, they had a whole bunch of stuff, and the shrunken heads just made me laugh.
Yeah, Monsters Alive. David is the guy who I met last year. David and Jennifer were there. Absolutely wonderful people to chat with, and kind of like Tayan, like their passion for what they make is evident in everything that they do. It is just really high quality props, really high quality masks, and really affordable too. Like, you're getting a great bang for your buck with Monsters Alive. If you want to check out their full line, go check out monsters-alive.com, and you can read all about their backstory, how they got started, see what drives them, and then explore all of the cool projects that they do. They also do custom costumes. So if you are looking for something, or if you need something that you can't find anywhere, you may be able to get it through them.
Yeah, they just had some great things. Okay, so we also talked with Hot Wire Foam Factory.
Yes. So where did I meet them? I met them at Midsummer Scream last year, and they hooked me up with one of their hot wire foam kits. Like, if you're doing any kind of foam work, holy shit, this is a game changer. Like, all of my foam work I am doing with freaking saws, and it makes the biggest mess freaking ever.
Yeah. Using hot wire to cut foam essentially takes your holy crap styrofoam snow down to basically almost zero.
Yeah.
So instead of
Yeah.
being covered with stuff that will not come off because of so statically charged, you just get a cut. You have a lot more ability to get very, very detailed
And intricate, like really intricate details.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically like trying to use a scroll saw with foam. Actually, I think
Yeah.
they have essentially a scroll saw for foam.
I think you're right. Yeah. But not only that, they also like the next thing I want to buy from them is the bow, which like it can cut foam pieces up to like 3 or 4 feet thick. It's just a really big, like a bow, like bow and arrow bow. It's shaped like that, but with the hot wire where the pull string would be. And using that, you can cut massive pieces of foam, which would be good for me when I have to rebuild our crypt next year.
The other great thing about it and what they can do, because it's wire, you can form the wire into whatever shape you want. So if you have a specific texture you're trying to go with, you can reshape the wire so you have a specific texture. So if you're trying to do, foam crown molding around something, instead of trying to cut each little piece, shape the wire into your negative, and then just use that.
Oh my God, that's freaking genius. Why did I not think of that?
I don't know. We're all about using things in ways and means that aren't necessarily normal.
And yeah, in this case, this is exactly how it is designed to be used.
Yes, it is. And again, it's on the videos on the website, but you can maintain a level of consistency with what you're creating by utilizing these techniques, and it cuts down on your mess, which cuts down on your cleanup time, which cuts down on the number of times you look around and go, God damn it, I've got more foam stuck to me, which I'm currently having in my office because I built a flat pack and there was styrofoam everywhere.
Yeah. And like they, beyond just the tools, like they sell absolutely everything you could need to work with foam, including like hard coats for after you've done the shaping. They have specific glues and then all kinds of patterns and kits. And if you check out their website at hotwirefoamfactory.com, they even have like video tutorials and galleries of stuff that people have made using their tools. It's a fantastic resource to give you inspiration or teach you how to do a new skill using their tools. And you can find everything you need right there on the website.
Yeah, and they're delightful. I mean, the two that run it are just so wonderful to sit and talk to.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So that was another one of our lovely visits. One of the next ones we did was Purgatory Props.
Oh my gosh. I love Michael. Yes, I do. Holy okay, I'm done. So to remind everyone, Purgatory Props builds controllers. Basically everything that you could possibly need to make animatronics, Purgatory Props probably has it. And more than that, they have it at a fraction of the cost of what you were going to find just about anywhere else. So like if I want to buy a peekaboo from Fright Props, I'm in the range of $150. A comparable controller from Purgatory Props is in the range of like $50 to $100. So I'm saving money that I can then put toward other things on the prop instead. And more than anything else, they are my number one source of supply for triggers. If I need like motion sensors or infrared sensors or step pads, whatever to trigger my props, their prices are half of what I can find at like Fright Props. So,
and the quality is still just
the quality is right there.
So up there.
Right there. Absolutely.
I mean, you use them for our ghost girl in the haunted ship hall.
Correct. Yes. So they sell a time delay trigger that like I've not seen anywhere else. Literally, it lets you set a delay from when the trigger gets activated to when the prop gets activated. And it's super easy to program. It's literally just push a button, wait the amount of time you want, push a button again, and it's done. It's programmed. Like 2 button presses. And that little time delay trigger was critical to letting me do the ghost walking down the hallway. So what were they showing at the show, Les?
A lot of it just kind of their basic stuff, their triggers. And again, triggers and sensors, we're talking $20, $30, $10 for just a basic step pad. The price is just they cannot be beat.
Absolutely.
So, they're working on some new stuff, and it's just what you can do with these props is just It's so impressive. And it is so cool. And makes it so accessible to anybody who's wanting to get into animatronics. And
Absolutely.
again, the time delay, I love the time delay because, hey, everybody knows that when you get close to a big prop, something's going to go off. But if you haven't set up that it's a thing all the way down there, you've already triggered the motion detector before you've even gotten to the prop. It's so much better of a scare control because, they're expecting it to trigger when they get there. It's already triggering as they've come up or maybe as they've gone by. So you have so much great control over how your guest is going to experience your props and your animatronics.
Another place I used that last year on the haunted ship, we had a like a burst pipe animatronic. It's just a piece of PVC filled with compressed air, and then when the motion sensor triggers, it just opens a valve and the air comes rushing out, right? But the area that we had this, there were all kinds of obstructions around, and we wanted the guests to be far enough past it that if they jumped, they would jump in a safe place so that they're hitting a wall that doesn't have a whole bunch of electrical panels or pipes or whatever. We had to get them to a safe spot for them to fall back into the wall, right? And safety is always a factor. If I had tried to do that, like there's a couple ways I could do that. I could do it with a motion sensor that has a really freaking long wire and put the motion sensor way far away from it. But then I have to have a very specific motion sensor with a really long wire, or I have to rewire a motion sensor, something along those lines, which is not always feasible. Instead, I had a time delay trigger with the motion sensor right there next to the prop, next to the controller. So everything is nice, tightly contained. It gets triggered. It waited 10 seconds to give them enough time to get far enough away from it, get to a safe spot, and then it triggered. The level of control it affords me was super helpful in tailoring my scares to the scene that it is being placed in. And especially when dealing with a location like a real ship where I don't have full control over what is in that space, having full control of the scares is critical. Yeah, so if you want to learn more about Purgatory Props, go check them out at purgatoryprops.com.
Okay. So who else did we talk to? Ooh, this one I had a lot of fun. And I mean, their pricing is definitely geared toward larger and more professional haunts, but Global Special Effects.
Oh my God. Yes.
There are so many things that I want.
What? So Global Special Effects literally does special effects like weather special effects for movies. They're that quality of systems. And what I bought last year was a DMX controlled fog machine, but not just any DMX controlled fog machine. This was a fog machine that they had been using. It was used. That's why I got it such a great deal. But they had been using it at Disneyland while helping them design the Millennium Falcon at freaking Disneyland. Like this fog machine that I own was used on the Millennium Falcon at Disneyland. Like,
That's awesome. Oh my God.
Yeah. So I got really excited. Clearly.
They've got snow machines. They've got bubble machines. They have this fantastic cold sparks machine.
Oh, tell me more.
Okay. So literally one of the reasons I had to go find them was because I'm sitting over in our little corner of the show floor and I just keep seeing all of these little sparks going off somewhere in the middle over like everything. I'm like, I think I want that. I need to go find out what that is. So I walked up and what they have is it's a spark machine. So it literally creates this cascading fountain of sparks, but it's cold. So there's no heat, there's no fire hazard. You can run your hand over it and, not be damaged. And it is amazing. Like if you have anything that needs to have sparks shooting out.
Do you remember when we were designing
perfection?
Do you remember when we were designing Sanguine and we were talking about having the cage where the Wendigo had broken out of, and we wanted to have the broken electrical cage with sparks? This is what we needed for that.
Yeah. Well, this would also be great for our newest project that we're working on that we can't really talk about because pipe break, electrical panel, spark shoot across the floor.
Yes.
Absolutely delightful.
Oh my God, yes.
But I mean, and there's again, their equipment is truly designed for movies, shows, that professional level of quality that you would want. And the price tag does go with it. But if that's, if you really want to highlight something as this is the, coup de grace of your haunt, and you've got the capital to make that a thing, absolutely, I would highly recommend looking into what they offer, and just it's spectacular.
Just to give everyone an idea, I looked up the Cold Sparks machine because I really want it now. It's $900. But you know what? I have spent more than that on a prop before. That might be one that's worth saving up for.
Yeah, I mean, it's, again, we're talking movie quality. It
Yeah,
shows.
yeah.
Their equipment is very solid. Fog machines that are not going to burn out and melt very likely at all. Just absolutely fantastic. And the crew there that was, doing all the demos were delightful. Like, they just kept doing the Sparks machine for me because I'm at 5.
And it looks like it is DMX controlled, so you could use the Pico DMX to control it. Just saying.
See, everything works together.
And if you want to know how to do that, go check out our YouTube page, because I have a whole demo on the Pico DMX that I used with my Millennium Falcon fog machine last year.
So you get to see both.
You get to see both. Exactly. So if you want to check out Global, they are at globalspecialeffects.com. I need this Cold Sparks machine. Holy shit, Les, what have you done to me?
What I'm good at. Giving you things to spend money on.
You're good at hurting my budget. That's what you're good at. You're supposed to be the finance person.
Yeah, right. So I know how to push the budget.
You know how to push it. Yeah, I'm going to have to go get a second job just so I can afford this. Oh, they have a confetti cannon. Cryofetti. What is cryofetti?
I don't think they demoed that for me, but I'm pretty sure it's looks like confetti, but evaporates. I think that's what it is.
Oh, jeez. Listen to this. You are now witnessing the most advanced CO2 cannon system ever sold. This bad boy is completely customizable from the ground up. We're selling it primarily as a confetti cannon, although it is capable of much more than just confetti. We've had reports of people shooting naked hot dogs from the 1-inch barrel, wrapped hot dogs and buns from the 2-inch barrel, and t-shirts and miniature Nerf footballs from the 3-inch barrel. Awesome. I want to.
That's hilarious.
I want a cannon that I can shoot hot dogs out of.
I mean, who wouldn't?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, who else? Who have we not talked about yet?
So we have not talked about Ghastly Garb.
Ooh, I don't know them.
So this is a newer venture. It started and run by one of the individuals who works on The Haunt and does all of their costuming and a bunch of their design elements.
And for those who don't remember, The Haunt is Doug Sheldon's haunt up in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Yes. So run by an individual who works for Doug and has decided to expand into costume design and costume making. But his focus is on costumes for women.
Interesting.
Because, so many of our costumes that are out there, they're designed for guys. Haunting is in a lot of ways still male majority, although that is rapidly changing because ladies are weird too. But it's fully customizable. Everything he does, customize the color, the cut, the style, the sizing is all customizable. And he's just getting started. And again, video of him on our YouTube. And I mean, just the costumes that he had out were spectacular. Like, I could see absolutely with some modifications using them, for our porcelain doll, for some of our other characters, and getting that worn, lived-in look, but still having it tailored and designed for functionality as working as a haunt actor.
Yeah. Can you describe any of the costumes that you saw? I know you've got a video up on our YouTube page, but for our audio listeners.
So the other reason I was excited, he does corsets.
Ah, of course. One of your favorites.
One of my favorites. But they're definitely more designed for functional. So still silhouetting, getting that corseted silhouette, but designed to be able to be moved in to be comfortable. So he essentially had this great dress, ratty skirt, ratty shirt with a corset on top. So again, very much in that era of what you would expect to see with our porcelain doll.
Yeah.
So everything it's I love it because it's all fully customizable. You know, how much distressing do you want? What type of distressing colors? What he had was kind of a maroon and white, but you want to change it up. Everything's up. And just the fact that he does it custom sizing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So they can help anyone find something.
They can help anyone get a costume for their character. So I'm really excited with what he's got and where he's going to be going with this company.
Do you remember his name?
Definitely check out Ghastly Garb. Okay. No name, but they are found Ghastly Garb on Facebook. Again, this is a very, very new company, but excellent design, and I'm really excited for what they're going to keep coming up with.
Yeah, sounds like it. I'm gonna have to check them out myself. That I gotta say, that's probably the thing that I like most about Fear Expo. It gives new vendors an opportunity to get their foot in the door in the industry. When just starting out, it's almost impossible to get into like the trans worlds because it just costs too much. But Fear Expo is still small enough, it's still inexpensive enough that it gives those new vendors the chance to get their products out in front of customers.
Yeah, and that's such a great opportunity that Fear Expo is providing. I mean, Project Backfire last year, Ghastly Garb this year, giving everybody an opportunity, and even for us. I mean, we've been around for many years now, but we're still, you know, in a lot of ways, a relatively small podcast.
Super
and
small.
Being able to go and talk to everybody and meet people, it's a great opportunity that we really wouldn't have otherwise, because so many of the other shows are expensive, out of the way, and you know, and like, for example, Transworld, you have to have a level of industry credibility to even be able to apply for a booth.
Right.
So awesome things there.
But
so
that's not to say but that's not to say that Fear Expo does not have some of the larger names. My freaking favorite company was there, VFX.
Oh, they had so many great things. So they had their, you know, their standard line of their arm puppets, which are there to, you know, jump out and attack and just walk around and sit on your shoulder. I loved their Raven.
The Raven it was super cool. Go check out our YouTube page again, because Leslie got a good video of the Raven. But it's a freaking enormous Raven, but sound is very realistic. It moves around very realistically. It's a very cool puppet.
Mm-hmm. And then their newest are their little surprise boxes, which so much fun.
Describe them, Wes.
It's a box, probably about
like a foot and a half
feet.
Yeah, a foot and a half, 2 feet square, cube,
and you hold it. It's just a box, and then you open the box, and a monster pops out.
Yeah,
and each box has a different monster. So there's a clown, and the clown box is really, really cool because it's mirrored, so you can see when you're looking inside the box.
It looks empty.
It's a mirror. It looks empty, and it pops open, and here's this clown
and freaking clown head popping out at you, and not just pops out. It's on a scissor mechanism, so it's actually like coming at you.
Yeah. So another one is a biohazard box with a head. So you can see the head, you can see the biohazard box. It's all lit up. And then again, you know, you're standing there and it's wiggling around like, oh no, what do we do? And then it just pops open and you get attacked by a zombie head. These were absolutely delightful.
The new one.
Go ahead. The scissor mechanism, you know, on the biohazard box, I was right up close, so you can see just how close that head got to my camera as I was filming this. Just great, and I couldn't stop giggling because It's
because they're
hilarious.
that awesome.
And it's a
Yeah,
great plot. And it's a great prop for, either jump scares, but also I could see this being used very, very effectively in a queue line.
abso-freaking-lutely. Like you're just wandering around the queue line, get nice and close to someone, and then pop. The new one that I saw in your video that I hadn't seen before looked like a kid's play block. The letter blocks that I think every kid has had at some point in their lives, but it's one of those. You pop it open and a zombie baby comes jumping out at you. That made me giggle. Like I freaking loved it.
Yeah, that was another really great one because again, it just looks like an oversized kids block.
Yep.
With letters and numbers all around and kind of brightly colored. And then it just out pops the baby head.
And I'm just out there minding my own business, carrying this block. Maybe I have to carry it around to a room or whatever, past the queue line. But as I'm going, just pop, baby comes out. And what I love about like everything that VFX creates, it will fit any theme. Every one of their props, you can find something to fit whatever your theme is. I really want to buy a bungee head this year. And that is exactly what it sounds like. It's a head on a bungee. You slide the bungee around your wrist, lock it in place, and then you can throw it at people and the bungee will make it snap back. So people just see this thing flying at them, but it's nice and safe and you have perfect control over it because it's attached to you. As long as you're not too close, people. I'm looking at you.
Yes. I don't get too close.
They handed you candy.
Doesn't hit them.
You got close enough to get candy from trick-or-treaters.
I was supposed to. I asked nicely.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want to check out VFX, you can find them at vfxcreates.com. Get your orders in because they tend to fill up really fast. The two guys who run it, Patrick and Doug, are doing all of the work themselves. So if you want something from them, you have to get your order in early, particularly if you want it by Halloween, which reminds me I should probably get my order in now. Okay. Any other vendors? I think we've covered all the ones that you hit the vendor spotlights on. Were there any other vendors that jumped out at you?
There's one more.
Oh, who do we miss?
New Rule FX.
Who is New Rule FX?
So, probably one of my favorite groups. These guys are kind of up in the line with Global Special Effects, where they design and build movie, TV props. Like right now, they're building this massive replica of the Fat Boy atomic bomb for a museum in Ohio, I believe. So their big thing is realism, both in terms of visual, but also in terms of feel and how it looks on screen as it's being used. So what I really wanted to get from them, they had a baseball bat.
Of course you did.
And it's foam. But one of the really, really cool things, one of the things that I struggle with when I do props, because if I have something that I'm supposed to use in well, yes, if I have something I'm supposed to use in a specific way, I want the prop to be able to mimic what it would feel like if I was using the real thing. So don't give me a baseball bat that's light and bendy. Give me the metal bat that I can spark on the fence. Or give me Neural FX's bat, because the weight and how it was weighted matched a baseball bat.
Wow. But what was it made of?
So it was made of foam, and it had a harder foam core. But just the weight on it, you pick it up and it feels like you have a bat. So when you're swinging it, you don't have to work as hard to mimic what a swinging bat weighted properly would look like, because it's already mostly there. So these types of props that are built and designed in a way that is to be realistic, not just in terms of visual, but also in terms of functionality, while still being not actually a weapon,
sure,
is huge for your actors, because you can give them that much more access to realism.
It's one less thing they have to think about. That's it. It's one less thing they have to think about to make their performance realistic. Yeah.
So I absolutely fell in love with that bat.
Like I'm on their webpage right now, and the number of the wide range of things that they do, like They have balsa wood props. So you want a folding chair you can break over someone? They make one out of balsa wood that you can literally break over people. They do foam rubber tools, pickaxes and knives and baseball bats. But like crowbars even, and like big rubber props like cinder blocks or anvils, all made out of some sort of foam or rubber. And I absolutely love these they have silicone rubber maps that look like pools of blood, so that you just throw these down anywhere and it looks like a pool of blood.
Yeah. And it really, they have broken glass that's just silicone, but because of how it's built and how it's designed, when it explodes, it can still show that image that you want it to, and that kind of that visual that you want to be able to see.
Yeah.
They have some great blood rigged props. So scalpel.
Oh yeah.
Our doctor, scalpel sliced down, and here's this thin line of blood that comes, here's this blood line that comes with it. It's just fantastic.
Yeah.
And then the other favorite thing that they had was they broke a bottle over my head, which I've always wanted to have happen, is to have a breakaway bottle smashed on my head.
They go check out our YouTube page and find our video on New Rule FX, because they literally broke a bottle over Leslie's head on the video for us.
It was great.
And like they have so many different breakaway bottles, like brown beer bottles and green, and beer steins, pint glasses, tumbler glasses, a freaking coffee mugs. Like, if you can imagine, there are 5 pages of these things. Ooh, champagne flute. They have so many different options for these breakaway props, and they're reasonably inexpensive. Holy crap, they have a light bulb. Like, they have a light bulb that you could break over someone's head.
Yeah. Ashtrays. The other thing that's really great is they do custom work as well.
Oh.
So if you do need something specific that you cannot find on their website, and again, their website is
fairly extensive.
Here's a swizzle stick. Yeah, quite extensive. They do custom work. So if you do have something specific that you want to do, get in touch with them and see, what it would be to have them build something for you. They have a freaking violin.
Oh my gosh. A lot of this, I don't know I would use it in a haunt, just because, trying to, well, I guess it depends how many days we're open. Like, trying to make that repeatable is going to be expensive. But if I have like a very specific scare that I want to do, or even like, let's say I'm going to, we're taking Sanguine out to a parade or something to advertise ourselves, that may be a perfect opportunity to use something like this. Strike that wow factor and, imprint your brand inside people's minds. And just imagine, like, taking one of those bottles and slapping your logo sticker on it and then breaking it over someone's head. Free advertising. Memorable free advertising. Okay, not free. You got to pay the $16 for the bottle, but still.
$16 for a bottle, though. Not bad. Relatively speaking.
Yeah, exactly.
They have a meat hook.
Naturally, they have a meat hook. I'm looking at like their masonry. They have like, cinder blocks and rocks and bricks and concrete and breakaway glass tiles. There you go. Like,
yeah.
newrulefx.com. Go check them out. You will be amazed at the kind of stuff that they carry, and all movie quality.
Very much things that can be reused,
skillets,
with the exception of the breakable glass. All of this is designed for reuse.
Yeah. I'm looking at their rubber props real quick, just because I have to. Oh, they have body parts too.
Of course. Yeah, they've got some really good body parts.
There's the oversized clown mallet, because everybody needs an oversized clown mallet. Ooh, but they even have like permablood and things.
Yeah, and their fake blood is fully washable.
Really?
Yes.
Like water soluble, so you can.
Yeah. So it's something, again, because we're talking designed for movies. You have to do a blood spray. You need to do another take. You have to wash all of that off.
Yeah.
And redo it. that doesn't work if it's either not coming off or if it's leaving any residue or stain behind. Not so helpful.
Indeed.
But they have their own special formula for their blood that is washable and does come off with water.
Well, that sounds absolutely fantastic. I'm definitely going to be looking into them more for the upcoming year because I just want stuff. I need it.
I know. It's so much fun. It's
well,
so delightful.
It sounds like you had just an absolutely fantastic time at Fear Expo.
Yeah, really, really did. Absolutely delightful. I wish I could have gotten to any of the classes.
Yeah, always my biggest regret.
Yeah, it's just so hard because there's so much going on the show floor, and just the growth that they had between last year and this year was huge.
Yeah.
And that alone caused some problems, but it also gave so many people so much of an opportunity to show off what they have and what they're doing. It was just delightful. I can't wait till next year.
Me neither. Okay, so let's wrap it up.
Fear Expo is awesome. You should absolutely try and go next year. Definitely worthwhile to do the VIP pass. Just because of the sheer amount of extras and care that goes into the VIP experience at Fear Expo.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, it was only a $40 difference between the regular pass, the general admission, and the VIP. That being said, like the general admission was $25. Like that's so much more inexpensive than any other show I have been to.
Yeah, it's very affordable, and it's absolutely worth it.
Absolutely. I hope my ship is in next year so that I can go to, because I was so sad watching all the stuff you were posting and not being able to experience it there with you.
Yeah, it was just so much fun. And I didn't even get to, I got to maybe half of everybody.
Yeah.
And there were so many things. I barely even explored the blacklight section.
That's true. We didn't even talk about that. Like they had a whole section of the show floor that was completely blacked out so that vendors could show off their blacklight responsive props. And I know like you do not do well in UV lighting, so I imagine you didn't spend a whole lot of time there.
No, I tried, and they had a bunch of the 3D UV paintings.
Like stewardism designs, and I can't think of the other guy I met last year who did it. Josh, maybe. I can't remember. I'll have to go look it up.
Yeah, so just some great things, and it didn't even scratch the surface in a lot of ways. Yeah.
Well, go check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/@hauntingyou, just the letter U, and you can see all of the videos that Leslie posted highlighting the awesome products that these vendors had. Additionally, you can find out more about the Haunting You podcast by checking out our website at hauntingyou.com or checking us out on Facebook, facebook.com/hauntingyou. And of course, go follow our Instagram at Haunting University, where you can stay abreast of all of the exciting things that we're doing this summer. It is now build season. We are getting into it. And as Leslie has alluded, we are in the middle of a haunted house design that I am very excited about. Special project is right, but we cannot talk about it yet. So that is going to be featured on some future episodes of the podcast. So go to your favorite podcast app like Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, etc., and subscribe to the Haunting You podcast so that you can hear all about this special project when we're finally allowed to talk about it.
Yes, it's so cool. And then the other thing I wanted to say, if I didn't say it earlier, to everyone who came out and said hi and stopped by the booth and talked with us, and everybody, we had listeners stop by. It was so lovely to meet you guys and to spend time with everybody who's at Fear Expo. So thank you so much for stopping by our little booth in the corner and coming out and seeing us. And for all of our new listeners who found us at Fear Expo, welcome. Go back, listen to whichever episodes you want. There's plenty of them. And let us know what you guys want to hear us talk about in the future. We always love to hear what you guys are looking to know about and learn about, and that's really what we're here for. Is we're as much an entertainment podcast as we are about education.
That's a great point. Our whole podcast is about how we design and build haunts. Our first 10 episodes highlight the the Hunting You method, the method that we use to build those props. So if you're new to the podcast, have never listened before, go check out those first 10 episodes in particular, because it talks about our method. And then everything after that is how we apply that method. So first 10 episodes, granted, we were not quite as entertaining then. We were pretty good, but we've learned a lot in how long have we been doing this? 5-6 years since. So
started in 16.
I promise the quality gets better, but the content is still good. All right. I think that wraps up our April episode. We will see you all back in May. But in the meantime, from all of us here at Haunting You, happy haunting.
Bye, everybody.
We are incredibly thankful to all the sponsors who make this show possible, particularly our premium sponsors, the Chamber of Haunters and Fear Expo. You can learn more at chamberofhaunters.com and fearexpolive.com. Check out the Haunting You podcast at hauntingyou.com for more information on everything that we do. Haunting You is a production of the Rocky Mountain Home Haunters, LLC. All audio clips and sound effects are used under a Creative Commons Attribution or Public Domain license from Purple Planet Music at purple-planet.com or the Sound Bible at soundbible.com. Please see the show notes for more information on all the clips used in this episode.